Goa isn't just beaches and backwaters. As we drive from Panjim towards Belgaum, busy roads make way for the dense canopy of the Chorla Ghats, and a different Goa unfolds in the rainforests of the Western Ghats. A colourful, yet concealed Goa, my favourite kind of Goa. I'm looking forward to spending an entire day exploring these lush green forests.
Hi, so I'm in Chorla Ghats in Goa, which is a part of the Mhadei Wildlife Sanctuary. Technically, I'm in Maharashtra right now, but close enough to Goa to be able to cross into it on the walking trail, which I will do shortly. It is pouring right now. It is the peak of monsoon. And that's also the reason why I'm here, because this is a great time to go out herping. Herping is looking for amphibians, reptiles, and for me, anything else that I can photograph with my macro lens. And monsoons are a great time to go herping because the rain brings out the insects, which bring out the frogs, which bring out the snakes. And I'm looking forward to photographing some frogs and snakes here. I'm looking forward to photographing the Malabar pit viper and the Malabar gliding frog here, both of which are Western Ghats endemics, meaning that they're only found in Western Ghats and nowhere else in the world. And they're also a bit of the flagship species of the Western Ghats. I've seen them every other time I've come here. They're not really difficult to find, but you never know with wildlife. I find herping to be productive within the confines of the property we're staying in because there are well laid out paths along which we can look for insects, frogs, and snakes. I also think the proximity makes the animals more habituated, making it easier to photograph, and it's safer as well. So the rain did stop, and I stepped out, and just a few feet outside my room, I could see this ornamental tree trunk spider feeding on the moth. So this is why I'd like to step out during the day. We'll always find something, especially in the monsoon. So just as I was walking up this trail, I could find what I think is a tree crab on this tree.
I think this tree crab is a young one of a purple tree crab. I saw a beautiful adult specimen later that evening. These tree crabs have a preference for the jamun tree, whose fruit color they resemble. They also get their scientific name, Otropurpurea, from the Latin color for purple.
So I'm now headed down one of the most beautiful trails here. This leads to a pond. I know that the pond has a few bullfrogs. Last time around, I'd also seen a Malabar pit viper there. It's actually a great habitat for Malabar pit viper. There'll also be some gliding frogs in the evening, so the Malabar pit vipers like to feed on them. Hopefully, I'll be able to see one during the day. I've got some shots of the pit viper during the day, but it'll be great to see one in that setting during the day. Let's see. Those are sloth bear droppings, and sloth bears are quite common here. And even though I'm here for herping, I need to be aware of the fact that this is a wildlife sanctuary. There are bears and bison and big cats, and it's very much their habitat, even though this is a private property. So the onus of safety of both me and the animal lies on me. So I'll stay as close to the path as possible, stay as close to the cottages as possible, be alert. And the alertness is not sort of limited to big cats and bears. A number of venomous species of snakes are found here, scorpions, spiders, and so on and so forth. So I just need to be respectful of the fact that I'm in proper wildlife territory where anything could hurt me, and I need to be careful. So I've come down to the pond right now. Couldn't see any bullfrogs or pit vipers, so I'll camp here for a while. Maybe as it gets darker, and it is getting very dark, I'll be able to see more activity. But that is the thing about macro and herping, which is that A, it rains a lot, and B, you're most active after sunset. So the real work starts after the sunsets, and it gets dark when most animals come out. And I'm probably going to camp here till then and see how it goes.
As soon as the rain stopped, I started looking for critters around the pond, with the clamor of the cicadas as the background score. Macro photography during the day is about looking closely at the forest floor, the foliage, and the other side of leaves. And in a rainforest like this, there's plenty to be photographed, especially during the monsoon. You also want to be careful because not everything that looks like a vine is a vine. Vine snakes are arboreal snakes, quite common to the Western Ghats. They can be over a meter in length and can easily pass off for a vine, with their flat, leaf-shaped head adding to the camouflage. They use their binocular vision and sense of smell to hunt down frogs and lizards. They are venomous, so their bite, although not fatal, can cause harm. I think this species of vine snake is the northern Western Ghats vine snake, going by the scientific name Ahatula borealis. It's endemic to this region within the Western Ghats. This wasn't the only vine snake I saw that day. After photographing for a while, I trekked up to my room to pick up spare batteries and was in for a surprise.
So I just came to my room to change batteries. Could hear a few frogs on my balcony, which has a great view, by the way, but that's not what this video is about. When I came to the balcony looking for the said frogs, this is what I found. Look closely and you'll be able to see a vine snake. It's probably looking for the same frogs as well.
Soon enough, and probably because the snake was around, the frogs disappeared one by one. I had set up a shot just in case something were to happen. But after a staring contest that lasted 45 minutes, the vine snake went away, and so did I. It was quite dark by the time I went back to the pond, and the frogs had taken over from the cicadas for the rest of the night.
It's gotten sufficiently dark and dark enough for me to not be able to see anything without a flashlight. And the frogs are beginning to call, which is a great sign. In fact, right in front of me, the white patch there is the nest of a Malabar gliding frog. Hopefully there'll be some activity there. And there's my first pit viper of the night too. I don't have a lens that can get me closer to it.
Photographing during the monsoons can be tricky. On one hand, I want the rain because it brings out the subjects I want to photograph. But I can't photograph when it rains, especially the way it does in peak monsoon in the Western Ghats. So I pulled my umbrella up, gathered all my equipment under it and waited. It rained for over an hour, so I switched my torch off to conserve battery. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I came across a rare natural wonder. I could see the forest glow in patches. Ordinary twigs that look like this when there's any light falling on them glow in absolute darkness. This almost otherworldly light is caused by a bioluminescent fungus from the Mycena genus that grows on rotting barks and twigs. I don't think there's a lot more known about this bioluminescence. I just count myself incredibly lucky to have seen it. The pit viper I saw earlier was still high up in the tree, and the frogs hadn't made their way down yet. At this point, I regretted calling it my first pit viper. I decided to drive down to another property where I hope for more frog activity. At night, herping is different. Our field of view is limited to the flashlight's beam, in which we hope to catch eyes, sheen, or silhouettes. We often find diurnal animals asleep, like this rat snake, or this puff-throated babbler, or this calotus, and it's best to move on without disturbing them. true to promise, this property had a lot on offer. I saw a bullfrog, a bronze frog, and a number of geckos and spiders. I also found this keelback, and it seemed to be looking at something above the pond that caught my attention too.
So this is one of the most amazing natural phenomena that you can find. A group of Malabar gliding frogs mating. The female selects a male and finds and selects a leaf. The male then approaches and starts whipping up the foam in which the female deposits the egg. As you can see in this one, there are more than one males, which is common. And this is the first time I've seen this. This is a really, really rare and epic natural phenomenon that I've got to see, and I'm super thrilled to have been able to see it.
Malabar gliding frogs are tree frogs that glide using the red webbing between their toes. They mate in the monsoons. Males attract females with calls from banks of streams or ponds. Females respond and initiate mating by picking a leaf, typically over a small water body. Males secrete a seminal fluid and whip up foam into which females lay eggs. I'm told that multiple males being involved in the process is common, though I'm not sure if all of them actually participate in the mating. Even as I was watching this, more males were looking to get on board. After mating, the female covers the foam and eggs with leaves and heads off. After about a week, tadpoles from this nest will drop into the pond below. Sure, there's probably a keelback and a number of other things waiting for them there, but well, hopefully enough of them will make it through to the next monsoon. After photographing the Malabar gliding frogs, my cameras were almost out of battery, and I was entirely out of battery.
I'm headed back now. Had given myself only one day, but it's been a long day. Started at 3, it's 12:30 now, and it's pelting down. Didn't see the pit viper the way I'd like, but that's all right. Got to see bioluminescence, made some good shots. Happy with the shots I made. Hopefully the next time I'm here, I'll see a nice colorful pit viper.
And just as I finished recording that, the guide who was with me all day called. He had a long day too, despite which he had information worth sharing, which could mean only one thing.
कहाँ है वो? दिखाओ कहाँ पे? वहाँ.
And there it was, just outside his room, a beautiful Malabar pit viper. The Malabar pit viper, endemic to the Western Ghats, comes in various color morphs, from greens to browns and almost everything in between. I've seen a yellow and an orange morph in Agumbe too. These ambush predators rest coiled and motionless and strike when a prey comes close by. I think there's more about the Malabar pit vipers that we don't know than we do, such as the significance of color morphs and whether they're all one species, and where the snakes disappear when the rains stop. I'm told these are being researched, and hopefully we'll know more about them. It's quite amazing how, after a long night of exhaustion, a quick phone call can have me out in the rain photographing a snake. It also made me think about the unpredictability and randomness of wildlife. We'd walked the length and breadth of 2 large resorts, inching farther and farther away from trails and cottages looking for a Malabar pit viper, and all along, it was literally at a doorstep. And likewise with the vine snake, it was on my balcony. Maybe the next time I'm here, I'll just stay in my room all day long and see what shows up.